everybody, it's Joe. I'm back, and I did do it. I bought a flip phone. I've actually used it for the past couple months. In this video, I would like to tell you why I got the flip phone, how I've kind of implemented it, the challenges I've faced, and the benefits that I've seen. Maybe by the end of this video, I will convince you to also get a flip phone. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm over here at Pygmy Island National Wildlife Refuge. I'm out here taking pictures, but let's keep walking down the trail here, huh? I think it might be a little too dark here. Let's. Okay, we've made it to the first stop here, Ibis Pond, right behind me, with ibises in it. Can you believe it? This is the phone I got. It's a Nokia. Focus. Come on, camera. Yeah. Look at how cute it is. Look at how adorable it is. I bought it kind of spontaneously, and let me tell you why. But we all know that we spend too much time on our phones. You know, I had an iPhone, I still have it right here, and every week it tells you how much screen time you spent on your phone. Most weeks I was averaging like 8 hours a day of screen time, big problem. And I had some weeks where I think it was even over 10 hours of screen time. I was spending a lot of that time was spent on social media. I really wanted to see what I could do about that. You know, I tried to put kind of like a time limit on my social media intake, and it didn't really work for me. I think another contributing factor was a couple months ago at the very beginning of the summer, in early June, I actually was able to go to Africa and see how the people lived there. And I realized something there. I realized that they have much more simple lives. Because of having much more simple lives, they are much more present in the moment. And that's something that I really felt like I needed to work on. I was spending too much time on my phone. So I went the nuclear route. Oh my gosh, there's a butterfly. Oh, I need to take some pictures too, don't I? I love this lens. This is my 100 to 400. It is perfect for this kind of wildlife photography. I think another thing that I struggle with is I'm just a curious person at heart. And when I have just a random question pop into my head that I feel like I need the answer now. And so I was always Googling random stuff on my phone. And I was always having like these small little, oh, I wonder about this, wonder about that. And I think it's good to be curious, but it was taking me out of the present moment. Let's get out of the sun. It was cloudy today. It was cloudy, it was cold. I got my long sleeves on. Now I'm getting blasted by the sun. It's hot. Welcome to South Carolina in October, boys. I feel like a gator is about to come out of here and just yoink me. So, you know, I figure if I'm filming it, the cameraman never dies, right? So hopefully this works and I don't get murdered by a gator. This might be a good little spot here. Ah, the shade. Actually feels fantastic in the shade here. Okay, we've officially moved to somewhere in the shade, so I don't have to stare into the blinding sun. So I had this problem that I think a lot of people have. And for some reason, I decided, hey, what if I got a flip phone? What if I just deleted social media off of my phone, got a flip phone, and just tried to actually live my life? What could happen? So I did all those. Even the hardest one to do was to delete YouTube off my phone, honestly. I spent so much time listening to podcasts or listening to music on YouTube, even when I'm not sitting down watching something. So that was really difficult. What I did is I just decided, you know, I'll watch YouTube videos on my laptop instead of my phone. That way I can kind of wean off of it a little bit. I have YouTube music on my iPhone, so I can listen to music. I can listen to a podcast. But now instead of doing that every single moment, it's kind of like a treat if I feel like I've been good. So you might be surprised to hear that I was still using my iPhone a lot. And what I actually did is I simply just switched the SIM card from my iPhone to my flip phone. most days I have my SIM card in here now, but there are a lot of days that I have the SIM card in my iPhone, just to bring down the barrier of entry, because it is kind of intimidating to just completely switch to this. You're completely cut off from everything else. And it does actually work. I just swap my SIM card whenever I need to. In my wallet, I have a little SIM card tool right here. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, there you go. So you need this for the iPhone. The flip phone, you know, this is gonna bring some nostalgia back. You just break the back off, take out the battery, and the SIM card's right there. Pretty cool. I have no idea what kind of bird that is. Probably a blackbird. You know how they just name birds the most random things ever? You know, like a titmouse. What's up with that, dude? Birds don't deserve this. There's some challenges with using just a flip phone in your everyday life. With my phone specifically, Google Maps, pretty much unusable. It just tells you the turn-by-turn directions, doesn't track where you are. It's just best just to pull it up on your iPhone when you have Wi-Fi, just keep it loaded and just follow it that way. You know, obviously a flip phone won't connect to your car, so that's kind of a pain. I can't talk to somebody hands-free. I have to always hold the phone up to my ear. The speaker on it does not work super great, so it's pretty much not an option. Nobody can understand what I'm saying. If there is a group chat with like other Apple users, I just don't get it at all on this. You are officially more informed than I was when I bought this. So congratulations. All of those were pretty much limitations with the actual phone. All of the other challenges I faced were personal challenges of just, if I'm not doing anything, I'm not listening to anything, I'm not hanging out with anybody, just dealing with the boredom. Another challenge that I was having within myself was just kind of like a fear of missing out on social media, a fear of missing out on the news. It really wasn't difficult to just get off of social media entirely. And any big major news that you really need to know, you'll hear from the people in your life that you actually see on a day-to-day basis. So I really don't think that those challenges were as bad as I was expecting. And honestly, I think there were a lot more benefits than drawbacks. Okay, so the two first benefits are really things that I thought would be drawbacks, and they just resulted in being a benefit. The first one, not being on social media, not being as tuned into news. It's actually fantastic. In my personal case, I think I had my flip phone. I started using it the week that Charlie Kirk got shot, and a lot of my friends, like I'm sure most of you, had to see the video of it happen. I didn't see anything. The other thing, tied in with the boredom, now when I sit alone by myself with nothing to do, I feel like my thoughts are so much more, it's just a more cohesive flow of thoughts. I'll get lost in my thoughts a lot more than I was before. Another benefit is with all this time that I'm not spending on my phone, I had time for new hobbies. I've never really enjoyed reading my whole life. And I feel like now that I'm not on my phone, I am finally able to appreciate just reading a good old book before bed. I feel like an old grandpa saying that, but you know, that's the truth. You know, another thing that I noticed when I first switched to having a flip phone and just trying to not be on a screen as much is once you do that, you do really realize how much other people are sitting on their phones. You know, I'm out here walking around Picnic Island, and most people, if they're by themselves, they're listening to music. A lot of people will sit on these benches in front of this beautiful lake with all these birds in it, and they have their head down. And that was really interesting to notice and to realize that that was me. And so now, instead of being like that, you know, I can just sit somewhere and I'll just appreciate all the things around me. But I just feel like I appreciate my surroundings, including the people that I'm around. I'm better at just acknowledging strangers, you know? And a lot of that social awkwardness that I think me and a lot of people my age struggle with, I do feel like it's lessened just in the 2 months that I've had this little, you know, this little Nokia brick in my pocket. There's a wolf about to come out of these woods and attack me right now. I just heard him. You heard him, right? You heard that? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in these woods right now. Something that I'm really proud of that I actually just did last week, I've been trying to get my iPhone average screen time down below 2 hours. I felt like I really hit a limit. And last week I finally beat it. Under 2 hours of screen time. I'm gonna try to get under an hour and a half this week. I actually don't need the iPhone. I can just go throughout my day with the flip phone and I feel happier. I notice my surroundings more and I feel like I'm coming to an understanding of how big the world is around us and how much of a shame it is that we spend so much of our time on these screens when there is a whole world out there. There's so many experiences for all of us. And I really hope that this can inspire at least one of you to get a flip phone. Just go for it, you know? Find one that's cheap, find one that's refurbished like I did. If it doesn't work, send it back, you know? It's really made my life feel so much more simple, so much more calm. I hope I can inspire you. Comment below if you got a flip phone, what kind you got, and what your experience was like. I would really love to hear your stories. If this inspired you to get a flip phone, you can comment about that too. I actually would be very flattered. Is this the new trend of 2025 and 2026? Flip phones? And yeah, obviously leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It helps a lot with showing it to more people, and that's it. Go ahead, go get a flip phone, do it. Bye.